We're going to do 50-50 draw. Is that what you're doing now, Tammy? Or not?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll probably get through our next speaker and then do the draw, right? All right. Well, it is, you know, sometimes you meet people in my line of work that you wish you'd never met. This next speaker is not one of them. She does not bear the name Yasser or Nakvi. I'm just teasing. He's actually a lot of fun. He's like one of these, you remember when you were a kid and you had this little punching bag and you hit it, it'll go down and come right back up again and you get to hit it again? Oh, that's, no, not you.
My brother's treated me like that.
Oh! No, he's talking philosophically, not physically. Well, that's what he's like. So it's lots of fun whenever I get a chance to talk to him. But this next speaker is not like that. Well, she is like that, but in a good way. Because no matter how many times you try to knock her down, she's just like when she's weighted at the bottom, flings right back up in her face and will not take no. She will not stand down. She is not afraid of anybody. I was going to add something else. No, I won't go there. Anyway, Tammy is a longtime friend. I can't even remember, to tell you the truth, when we first met. But I know it left an impression because I've never forgot Tammy Hart's name. So with that, I'd like to introduce one of those fearless municipal councillors and politicians in Ontario, Tammy Hart. By the bottom!
Hard.
Thank you so much for that, Nick. I really do appreciate that. And I really enjoyed today. I love all the speakers that's been up here today. They've delivered wonderful messages, and we all are strong, and we're all fighting for the same cause, so we have to continue to do that, there's no doubt. Also, I want to mention Jean-Serge Brisson. I'm going to do that, Jean-Serge, because you've been forgotten today. But you have been an advocate fighting for the same cause we all have been today. So thanks a lot for all the work you do too. I guess where I'm going to speak today is just from my perspective, from what's been going on in my township, which is South Stormont, located right beside Cornwall along the St. Lawrence Seaway. And what I'm going to tell you about is the elections that are coming up, what it's important to do, that we get out there, and I'm sure you all know that we look for the candidates that are honest. Because that's where I find we're having a problem now, with just getting accountable, transparent, honest politicians. And let me tell you, they are out there. And I know they're out there because when I go to Good Roads, and this is going on my 8th year now, they are out there. We all connect. This one Good Roads called Roma in Toronto. That's exactly what it is rural Ontario municipalities getting together. And most of us in rural Ontario are conservative. Fiscal conservatives, and so we do have that common ground, let me tell you. When we go to the Ministers' Forum, which is at this Good Roads Convention, there's a stage, and on that stage you've got all the Liberal ministers sitting up there, the MPPs. Wynne was there, she was there last year as well. I mean, and we have 5 mics that we can get to, and I think there's about 600 to 700 chairs in this one room. So all of the councillors, deputy mayors and mayors are there. And when they're there, they're listening to the rhetoric. And they have the opportunity to get up to the mic and ask the questions. So you can tell when you're in that room that you could cut the air with a knife, because they know that they're just not connecting to all those Liberal ministers up front, because they're just not getting it. So when there was several questions asked about wind and solar, the Green Energy Act, the fact that municipalities have no say with any of the Green Energy Act, they can do whatever they want. Any of the questions that basically we have in this room, whether it's a language issue, whatever, I brought that up before. About 4 or 5 years ago, I had a language question. Thanks to Howard for helping me out for that question, but I mean, I did bring it up to Madame Marois. Or not Marois, but Mayor, excuse me.
Same thing.
So this time what I did was I had told my constituents back in December that I had promised, and I keep in touch through the newspapers, the media all the time, and I had said then that I was going to ask about the Drive Clean program that they've got going, and the tax grab that it is. And it had been taken up, I guess the Ottawa Citizen even carried it because of what I sent in my paper, in my neighboring paper. So in there I had said that I'd make darn sure that I would get up to Good Roads and I would speak to the ministers and I'd put the question right to Bradley, who's the Minister of Environment. So I happened to get up to a mic, and I'm not sure if everybody's familiar of the question or how that all transpired. Did anybody not read about it, or do you want me to go ahead with this?
Go ahead, share it.
All right. So I'll give you what I put back, what happened as soon as I did ask the question, and when I came back, I put this article in all the papers so they knew that I was doing my homework. So I have here, and this is what went in the papers. It said, at the Good Roads Roma Conference in Toronto, during the Ministers' Forum, where all the Liberal MPPs gather on stage in front of approximately 500 to 600 people, I managed to stand in front of a mic and ask my question regarding the Drive Clean/Eat test to Minister Bradley. I introduced myself as Deputy Mayor of the Municipality of South Stormont along the St. Lawrence Seaway in Eastern Ontario, and then proceeded to ask the question. Minister Bradley, sir, vehicles are manufactured today better than ever as far as emissions go. 14 years ago, when e-testing was introduced, its sole purpose was to eliminate the old cars from polluting the air. That has been done. Drive Clean does not apply to all light-duty vehicles on the road. Vehicles built before 1988 are exempt. Parts of Western Ontario and Northern Ontario are exempt. The diagnostic testing is flawed. And sir, your own Auditor General, Jim McCarter, in 2012, called the tax an illegal tax, and he also questioned whether it was really necessary. Minister Bradley, you reduced the Drive Clean program by a mere $5 several months ago. I'm asking you today to get rid of the tax grab program completely. Will you do that, Minister Bradley? So of course you see the whole audience, they're like clapping all their hands, because they know damn well that that's nothing but a tax grab. They've got that money now and they're never going to give that up. So of course I wanted to hear his answer. So after the audience did clap, Minister Bradley's answer was, you can appreciate that I don't agree with your comments. We will need to keep our air clean. There's too much pollution in the air, and this is causing our young to have asthma. Asthma is a very serious health issue, and we will continue to drive the Drive Clean program to help protect our citizens from serious health issues.
Do it for free.
So anyway, after it's quite interesting. What I do when I listen to the rhetoric, because I've gone up there a couple times, I'll just halfway just walk down and go to my chair and not listen to him talk. So it's kind of just a message to say you're full of shit. But anyway, so if I can honestly say to everybody here, there are good politicians. There really are good politicians. And I'll tell you, when I get together, and you know how we're all in the room here feeling like we're all together here today, there are a bunch of us that will say the same thing up there in Toronto. And this is where I say elections are coming up. So it's vital. It's vital that you get to know your constituents and try to encourage the good ones to run. Make sure you know what they're all about. And I'll give you an example of that. I'm going through hell right now in my own municipality for anybody that's been keeping on my that's on my Facebook. And one is, of course, our clinic that just we didn't tender out. We got it. We got a Quebec company that supposedly is going to be the managers of this project. And of course, after I caused stink, and I've let all my constituents know how I feel that it was wrong not to tender, this company is claiming, oh, but don't worry, we're going to subcontract, so you're going to get your locals there. Now, I had all the Association for Construction and Building, I forget the name of them right now, but they are livid, right? I kept them informed. They were the ones that, they've been watching the whole thing, how it transpired. So luckily for me, because their evidence, they have sent letters into our township because of what they've witnessed and heard. So the facts are all there, and they're in writing, so that's good too. But I mean, at the end of the day, I can only do my part. And right now it's sort of hanging because I don't know where they're going. Because don't forget, everybody's still got to feed their kids and their families. So, you know, if you're going to say, well, we're still going to subcontract in our local area, so don't worry, you're going to... And this is what swayed the rest of council to agree with this company because in their minds, oh, well, you know, all we're doing is getting the manager and we are still going to get local. So right away, all their vote changed. And here I am still saying, I don't give a damn. It was never done right in the first place. Like, where's the transparency and accountability on our part? But anyway, and I'm glad to see this clinic move ahead. It's a doctor's clinic, and that's great. But, you know, we still have to force our politicians to understand they are accountable to the people. We are paid by you. It's a job, and we work for you. So I think that's the message that I stand by. And so that was the one issue. And then the other issue we've got is regarding our media and some spending that's going on that I've been upset about. And again, having been on Facebook, I've been very fair out there. And of course, everything's got to be factual, because I think we were talking about, you know, how you could be afraid of being sued for anything slander or defamation, and that really concerns me. Because people like myself, it's easy that you have anger and you want to see the right thing done. And what that does is it just stirs that in you, and you could easily slip up and say something. I mean, you know, I have no problems telling you. My mayor has told me, oh, I could sue you for that. So, like, these are things that scare the hell out of you, but you have to stand strong. And that's where we're going with that right now. So where I was going with this story is, as I'm going around knowing more and more of my constituents and getting more friendlier all the time, we've had a new couple move into our area. They've been there 2 years, and I'm like, oh my God, where have you been, you know? Well, he says, Tammy, I know, I've heard a lot about you. I like it. So I sit down, I have a coffee with the guy. He invites me to his house, him and his wife. He says, I said, gee, man, you're so smart. And don't get me wrong about this smart thing. I mean smart as in common sense more. And I said, you know, why don't you run for council? We need you. Like, he's saying the same thing I'm saying. He's been to a council meeting. He's like, what the hell are you putting up with, Tammy? You need help. I need you. So he's going to put his name in on Monday. This guy is my age, a little older, but he's been in the military for 20 years, and his wife has worked in the U.S., and they're retired. They've been retired for a couple of years now, and they've got nothing to do in our township. But it's like, this has been a godsend. Like, if you believe in God, man, this guy's working for me now. So anyway, there's a positive thing, and there's something I'll tell you that is so refreshing, because I'm sitting there with a coffee with them. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe there's someone else like me out there. And I'm sure there's lots of us out there. It's just that we need to bring them to the surface. So that's just an example of where you need to do your homework and really work hard on the good guys that are out there that's going to fight the good fight. Now, the only other comment I'm going to make, Kim, is that article about Jeffrey Simpson. And I made this comment to Kim. She had an article going around about him and this issue with Quebec. And good for Jeffrey Simpson. But let me tell you about Jeffrey Simpson. I can't stand the man. And the reason I can't stand him is because when I was in Toronto,